Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. Every young child knows the story of Dama ben Nesina, where the Gemara tells us the great kibbud of aim he performed when the Chachamim were looking to buy a special precious stone for the ephod, and they knew that Dama was the one that they were able to purchase the stone from. So they went to visit him and try to buy from him the stone. And when he realized that the key was under his father's head and his father was sleeping, he turned them down for this great purchase. And from that, many beautiful stories and beautiful halachis lessons of how you should fulfill the mitzvah of kibbud of aim. Now, in Sifrei Halacha and the Sifrei Shaylos Teshuvos, they analyze this story and they discuss how is it correct what Dama ben Nesina did halachically. Because even though Dama ben Nesina was the businessman, he was the one to make the money. Which father, which normal person wouldn't be happy if his son makes a big business deal today? And which father wouldn't say to his son, "I would love for you to wake me up to celebrate with you if you're making $1 million deal? If I could be part of it, I would love to help you." So here's a basic shaila. The shaila is Dama has the opportunity to make a big deal, a big business deal, tremendous worthy stone. His father possibly would approve it, would like it, and would be part of it and happy. Why would halacha not allow the son to wake up his father? Reb Moshe Feinstein in his Shaylos Teshuvos actually says that from here we see since the Gemara uses this as a proof how great the mitzvah of kibbud of aim has to be performed, that this was a situation where the father was a problem. The father actually did not care for the son to be successful in business, and the father wanted to sleep. And the father was the type of person, when I sleep, don't bother me. You make money, you don't make money, I'm sleeping. That's the type of person he was. And therefore, Dama was not allowed to wake him up. So the discussion is, how about if the father would be happy? If the father would be happy, obviously this is something that he would enjoy if you wake him up. Or, as the Taz Taka says, the Taz says, if it wasn't the son's gems that were being sold, if it was the father's gems being sold, the Taz says in a case like that, the son would be able to wake up the father, because the father would obviously be happy with his sale. But not necessarily in that specific case by Dama ben Nesina. There was some kind of strange situation where Nesina was a type of person that he wasn't happy with his son's success. It's interesting that the Sefer Chassidim writes that because of that, we learn that if a father is sleeping and it's time to daven, because the father is going to gain, it's not something that the son gains. The mitzvah, the isser of honoring, of disrespecting your parents, in this case, the mitzvah of waking up your father to go into shul, even though you're waking him up, is allowed, because the father would to gain. The Aruch HaShulchan adds, however, the permission to wake up the father for davening applies only when the time for davening is close to passing. Only then you're allowed to wake him up. If there's plenty of time for the father to sleep a little more and still find a minyan to daven, the Aruch HaShulchan says maybe the son has to let him sleep. In Sefer Chassidim Siman Reish Lamed Daled, there is a story that actually is very relevant to a similar halacha. And that is, Nebuch, there are many people, I saw somebody discusses this with a Rav. He asks him, he says, my father I know has diabetes. And because of that, you're not allowed to eat too many sweets. And yet, my father doesn't take care of his health. And he comes home and he eats whatever he asks to be fed, and he eats whatever is not good for him. And here my father asks me, pass the cake, pass the this. Am I obligated to fulfill the mitzvah of kibbud av v'eim, fulfill his wishes when I know it's harmful for him. So in Sefer Chasidim Siman Reish Lamed Daled, it brings a story exactly like this. Ma'aseh ba'echad shechola. There's a story, Rachmana litzlan, somebody who became sick, and the doctor told him you shouldn't drink water, you shouldn't eat these and these foods, and if he does that, Rachmana litzlan, his sickness is going to go worse and worse. And yet he turns to his son and says, "Ten li mayim, give me this and this food," everything the doctor is telling him not to do. So and not only that, the Sefer Chassidim says that he turns to the son and says, "If you don't give it to me, imlav loy emchelach, I will not forgive you. Loy ba'olam hazeh v'loy ba'olam haba. You won't be forgiven this world, and next world, the olam haba you won't have." So the question is, the Sefer Chassidim discusses what should he do? What should his son do? Says the Rabbi Yehuda Achas, "Al tihi choishes b'dvarov." Don't be worried about what your father says. If your father is doing something harmful to himself, don't worry. For you, the biggest covet would be to show honor and respect for your father, to be careful for his health, and treat him in the most respectable way that he should really be.